Pierre-Simon Laplace was a French scientist who lived in the 18th and 19th centuries. He is remembered as one of the most important figures in mathematics, physics, and astronomy. He worked on many ideas that helped us understand how the world works. He was born in 1749 in a small town in France, called Beaumont-en-Auge. Laplace showed great intelligence from a young age. His early studies were focused on mathematics and physics. By the time he was in his 20s, he had already gained attention for his mathematical skills. As he grew older, Laplace became one of the leading scientists of his time. He was a brilliant researcher who helped explain many natural phenomena. He worked with many other famous scientists of his time, including Joseph-Louis Lagrange and Jean-Baptiste Joseph Fourier. One of Laplace's most famous ideas was about the structure of the universe. In the late 18th century, there were many questions about the stars, the planets, and how everything in space moved. Laplace worked on these questions and developed a theory called the nebular hypothesis. According to this theory, the solar system formed from a large cloud of gas and dust that slowly came together over time. He believed that this cloud of gas and dust was the starting point for the formation of the Sun and the planets. This theory was an important step in understanding how our solar system came into existence. Laplace also made important contributions to our understanding of gravity. Before his time, scientists knew that objects fall to the ground because of gravity. But Laplace wanted to understand how gravity worked in space, between the stars and the planets. He worked on the idea that gravity affects the movement of planets and other objects in space. His work helped explain the orbits of the planets, showing that gravity holds them in place and keeps them moving around the Sun. Laplace's research also helped improve our understanding of the Moon's orbit. He discovered that the Moon's orbit is not perfectly circular, but instead has small changes over time. These changes in the Moon's orbit are called lunar variations, and they were a big part of Laplace's work. Laplace was also interested in the idea of predicting the future. He believed that if we understood all the forces acting on the planets and stars, we could predict their movements far into the future. This idea became known as the deterministic universe. Laplace thought that if we had enough information, we could know everything that would happen in the future. However, his ideas were challenged later by scientists like Albert Einstein and Werner Heisenberg, who showed that there are limits to what we can predict. Even so, Laplace's work laid the foundation for much of modern physics and astronomy. Another important area of Laplace's work was in mathematics. He was very interested in probability and statistics, which are used to understand chance and uncertainty. He worked on the idea of Bayes' theorem, which is a way of calculating the probability of something happening based on known information. This work has had a lasting impact on fields like statistics, economics, and even artificial intelligence. Laplace also helped develop mathematical tools that are still used today. For example, he worked on a type of math called Laplace transforms, which are used to solve difficult equations in engineering and physics. His work on these topics showed how important mathematics is in understanding the world around us. Laplace was known for his careful and detailed research. He often spent long hours working on his ideas, making sure they were correct before sharing them with others. He published many important papers and books that helped shape the future of science. One of his most famous works is Exposition du système du monde, Exposition of the System of the World. In this book, he explained his ideas about the solar system and the laws of gravity. This work was widely read and influenced many other scientists of his time. In addition to his work on the solar system, Laplace also made important contributions to the study of heat. He worked on the idea of heat conduction, which is the process by which heat moves through materials. His work helped explain how heat flows in solids, liquids, and gases. Laplace's contributions to science were recognized by his peers. He was elected to many important scientific societies, including the French Academy of Sciences. In fact, Laplace became a member of the Academy when he was only 25 years old. He was later made a professor at the prestigious École Polytechnique in Paris, where he taught many future scientists. Laplace's reputation grew throughout his life, and he became one of the most respected scientists in Europe. Despite his fame, Laplace was known to be humble and modest about his work. He always emphasized the importance of careful research and the search for truth. He believed that science was a way to understand the universe, but also a way to improve the lives of people. Laplace was also a skilled communicator. He knew how to explain complex scientific ideas in a way that others could understand. His ability to present his ideas clearly helped his work reach a wider audience. In the final years of his life, Laplace continued to work on his research. He remained active in the scientific community, giving lectures and publishing papers. Laplace died in 1827 at the age of 78, but his legacy lives on in the fields of mathematics, physics, and astronomy. His work helped shape the way we understand the universe, and many of his ideas are still used today. Today, scientists continue to build on Laplace's discoveries. His work on the nebular hypothesis, for example, helped lay the groundwork for our modern understanding of the formation of stars and planets. His contributions to mathematics and statistics are still important in many areas of research. Laplace's ideas about the deterministic universe may not be fully correct, but they helped inspire new ways of thinking about science and the future. Overall, Pierre-Simon Laplace was a brilliant and important scientist. His work continues to influence the way we think about the world and the universe around us. Even though he lived more than 200 years ago, his discoveries are still relevant to modern science. Laplace's contributions show the power of human curiosity and the desire to understand the mysteries of the universe.